Thanks to Liquorland for sponsoring this episode of Willow Talk. Score more this summer with Liquorland, and of course, choose to drink wise. Willow Talk back in the studio. Massive episode ahead, the first of 2026. Alyssa Healy, Brad Haddin. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and all that.
Merry New Year. That's how I just sum it up.
How was Santa Claus? Good?
Good, yeah. I got some great gifts.
What'd you get?
Define great.
I'll beat you.
Oh. Well, I'm a little bit concerned as to what my in-laws think of me because I unwrapped my very own Nerf gun and a remote control car.
What are you, 12?
I'm 35 years old, everyone, and I do have hobbies outside of shooting Nerf bullets around the house. But
Remote control
great
cars.
presents. Great presents. Remarkably accurate.
Bradley, can you top that? I don't think you can.
I also, actually, on that note, I also got a Nintendo 64, so maybe
You are 12.
You are 12.
What the hell?
Yeah.
That explains a lot, actually.
Yes, it does.
It's starting to all hit me now. Anyway, carry on.
What'd you get?
Well,
Here we go.
a vacuum cleaner.
I needed that.
No, it gets worse. And then there was another present there, which was massive as well. I thought, I wonder what this is. I thought, that's a bit of a joke for Dad. There's another vacuum cleaner. But this one where you put a bit of water in and it mops the floors.
Oh, yeah, nice.
You
They're
had
good. They're good, by the way.
Yeah, they're great.
Who in your household said, I know what he'd really like for Christmas. Let's get him a vacuum cleaner.
It's the OCD.
Yeah.
Like I like things clean. Like, get that off your man.
I thought you got a vacuum cleaner and then a vacuum cleaner to clean the vacuum cleaner. That would have been really good.
Well, 2 vacuum cleaners.
Could happen. Yeah. You have significant issues.
My house is spotless.
Were you happy with those?
I can't answer that. I was so happy.
See, each to their own. We've
Yeah.
all got our things.
I've been home for the last couple of days by myself. My kids and Karina have been out water skiing.
Yeah.
And I reckon I've used them. There's no one home. And as soon as they leave, I clean the house so it's spotless.
Yeah, we've all got our quirks, Adam. Let's move on before
But
something
I have to
comes
tell you,
out.
I reckon I've used them both 3 times each.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is that weird?
Yeah.
Yeah,
in 3
how much
days?
dirt do you make? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there's no dirt there. You can have lunch, dinner, and breakfast off the floor.
Fantastic.
But I'll just be sitting there, I'll be watching Big Bash, and they'll look at me, and I'll look at them,
Yeah.
and I'll go, all right, I'll take you for a walk.
Well done. Well done. Happy
That's
for you
weird,
both. Happy
Yeah,
for you
it
both.
is weird,
you
but
both
that's
came
okay.
out of Christmas just satisfied.
What about
That's
you?
my thing. Golf balls. That'll do me.
Oh, you do need a lot.
Yeah.
It's fine. I don't know.
Do you want a Nerf gun? Got plenty.
Hope these ones don't have a beacon in them to soak to the water.
Now, coming up on this episode, we're actually going to talk some cricket, oddly enough, moving right along. Usman Khawaja has announced his retirement, and we'll chat about Uzi in a moment. We're going to preview in detail the Sydney Test. Travis Head will be along to have a look at the Sydney Test, and we've got Sundries, we've got the T20 World Cup squad that is named, and we will go in depth about the Big Bash, the Bash of Bigness, which is motoring along as well. Now, please remember to follow us on Apple, Spotify, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which many of you have. It does help us out a lot. Thank you for that. We just released Usman Khawaja's Best 11. It's a great chat, some awesome Phil Hughes punter memories, some David Warner ones as well, and it did feature Brad Haddin.
Yeah.
So that guarantees Uzi is going to have nice things said about him in this episode.
Always a good judge of a cricketer, Usman. Always a good judge. From the early days.
Before we go on, we usually read out some comments here from our listeners. I've gone through some of our YouTube comments. Now, both of you are wary because you're professional athletes, and generally speaking, when you get feedback from the public, much of it is to criticise your ability. However, none of this is. We have been showered in love on our YouTube comments. However, there's some quirky ones in there. So I've got 5. You still don't trust me, do you, Healy?
No.
You're looking at me going,
I've got no
"Oh, what's
trust
going
here
I'm scared.
either. Yeah.
Okay, well, Steve Berkery, after the episode, Perth said, Alyssa could be our next Richie Benno. So that kind of sets the tone of what was.
Whoa.
Generally surprised.
That's a big call.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I'm nervous about that.
I like her in the beige. I seen her the other day in the test match. You were very, very close.
Cream, the bone, the off-white, the white of the ivory.
I agree with that one.
Yeah,
Good
there you
call,
go.
Steve.
Brisbane. During Brisbane, we did a rooftop episode. However, we were making mention of the fact that Brisbane's nightlife was so good. However, I got there after Hads there. Hads was there first. He was actually asleep in the chair. He'd had a really long day. A really long day.
I was not.
No, you were dozing. You were micro-dozing. And you woke up and you did the episode. And we got many comments about how alive you looked.
Oh, yeah.
So to speak.
Dear.
Ones that, one said, Abracadabra wrote, Hads looked like he's doing 100 in a 40 zone. Slow down, son.
He was ready to get out of there.
No, he woke right up. He was asleep and then he woke right up.
It's a tequila I quickly shot before that episode to wake up.
Now, after Brisbane, XKT633, I love this one. Another listener from France. I usually put the podcast on during my workout routine. Keep up the good work. This podcast is going to France in the middle of winter and people are doing calisthenics while listening to us.
Nice.
That's fantastic. See, I told you this wasn't too bad.
Push-ups with the dulcet tones of Brad.
Yeah.
This one was fun. Adelaide, meat pie and sauce. You can hear Adam Collins starting his podcast at 14:04. That was in Adelaide. And that's a special shout out to Cricket Australia who've put us outside, even though we're podcasts that talk about the game 24/7 through the year. They put us out in the chook pen. So shout out to Cricket Australia for that.
No comment.
No comment. No comment. But yeah,
Might as well let us on the ground. They're only going a couple of days.
You could hear Colo, the great
Use
Colo.
the ground.
Exactly. And Jason M. and Eastern Underground Sound wrote in Melbourne, I don't know if you saw this, but Graham Swan, I asked him, do England have a team song, under the Southern Cross?
Yes.
And the Australian Women's has a team song as well. The English don't have an official one, but he made mention of the fact that he did bring in one in 2010, but if he mentioned what it was, it would get cancelled right now. And so many people wrote, anyone know what song Swan was talking about? I do, and I can't mention it because it would get the entire generation of English cricketers cancelled, banned, never to be seen again.
Give it a year, I'll do it.
So thank you for those
We
comments.
might lose our podcast, yeah.
And a lot of love.
That's
Both
a
of
big
you.
secret to keep, though, Adam. Like, how long are you going to keep that in?
I can't do
A couple
it
of
with a guy.
tequilas is going to spill it at the golf club.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Have you two played golf against each other?
Not,
Together
not against, but
at the same time.
yeah,
yes.
at the same time. Yeah.
You can't beat heels, can you?
Everybody can at the moment, Brad.
Yes.
Is that bad?
Yeah, I'm so ready for 2026. Now it'll be on the improve.
Well, someone thought they were 30 yards ahead of their ball once, and it was actually in a bunker, and someone made mention to A. Healy that, hey, Pelican, your ball's back here, and A. Healy didn't do any talking for the next 5 holes because she had the shits, so it's competitive.
I was probably hungry. Let me go.
Usman Khawaja, retired from all forms of international cricket at 39 years of age, an average of over 40, so that's good going. What do we say? What's our first thought when we hear that Usman has given up his test spot?
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful career. I was there for his first game when he walked on the SCG, and I've never heard a player get so many applause for a 30. And it's continued to be impressive from then. I think the one thing I've liked most about Uzi for his whole career, he did it his way, and he stayed strong to that. There was times we all have in our career where you put under pressure. There's times they said he couldn't play in India, and by the end of his career, he's one of our better players to spin. He's got a double 100 in the subcontinent against Sri Lanka, but. Yeah. Congratulations. Your family should be proud. Everyone involved with Uzi's career, from Ranrik Peterson to his kids and Rachel, his wife now. Well done. You did it your own way.
Yeah. I just feel like I feel like he's constantly been up against it the whole time, and I think he stayed true to himself, more importantly. Hads will talk about the on-field stuff, but he's just been really honest in everything that he's done, stayed true to his beliefs and his faiths in particular, and has never shied away from that, and never shied away from a difficult conversation. And, people always shit can athletes when they think that politics and sport shouldn't mix. But, I mean, at the end of the day, you get your inspiration a lot of the time from people running around a sporting field. And for someone like Usman to be himself and be a real leader within his community, not just within his community, but our whole community, I think has been really cool. And he spoke some good words this morning about that and about his, his struggles, his battles and his journey throughout playing for Australia. And I feel like I'm really proud of him. He's like maybe like an older brother or something, but I feel like I'm really glad that we got to this point and he gets to walk off on his own terms at the SCG. I think that there was a potential that wasn't going to happen at the start of this series. So for him to be able to sit there, announce it in front of his family, and then go out there and play at the SCG will be really cool.
Yeah, it was a late twist because if Steve Smith doesn't get vertigo, there's every chance that he doesn't go out in his own terms. And that would be unfortunate for any athlete not to be able to do that when you've represented your country so many times. But, geez, he didn't miss in that press conference. You say he's his own man and he speaks his own way. He took a few with him when speaking about the back injury that ruled him out, the spasms that plagued him in Perth, saying that there was an edge to it that is not fair, not comparable to other people in similar positions. But he's always been that. I'll be fascinated to see how the transition is into, looks like he's going to go into commentary, but what other form will he use his profile as a platform?
Oh, well, there's many areas you can go. The first thing when you retire, what you need to do is you just need to take time to sit back and reflect on everything. You can become really emotional in that period when you've just retired and you think you've got to do everything. But the most important thing is just to sit back and enjoy what you've done. He's about to play, 88 test matches. And listen to his press conference. He never thought he'd get the opportunity to play one. His inspiration come from Michael Slater driving past him in a Ferrari thinking, wow, I want to play test cricket. But it goes a lot deeper than that, I think, for Uzi as well. He's going to be an inspiration to a lot of cricketers now, especially with his pathway. And just take some time to reflect and be proud on what you've done, and then opportunities will open up wherever he wants to go.
But Sydney are fitting, like bookending it in Sydney as well.
Yeah.
And it's a great occasion, so he gets the chance. Beyond Sydney, who do you reckon I can't work it out because we can't work out who he's replaced and what our top order looks like. And like usually when a player who's played that many test matches drops out of the side, it's like, cool, here are the options of where exactly that player's going to fit in. I've got no idea.
Yeah, I don't know if I have any idea either. I mean, it looks like
that.
Yeah. Well, it looks like now the question marks over Jake Weatherald at the top may stop for a moment, which is good. It might bide him a little bit of time in that role and try and settle in, which I think is completely fair. I mean, we've just seen some ridiculous cricket over the last 4 test matches on some tricky wickets, so it might actually enable a little bit of stability in that top order. Who comes in? I mean, I guess they're going to bat 5. Unless you put Cam Green back up there again after this period. So I don't know. It'll be a fascinating one to watch, and I'm sure that we'll be discussing it for the next 6 months until the next test match.
Is he a chance to open this test match?
Uzi?
Yeah.
You're asking, is he?
Oh, I reckon he is.
Yeah.
I reckon he's actually a chance to open this test match.
Put Trav back at 5.
No.
Interesting.
Weatherall out.
Maybe.
Who in?
Aussie in. Bo Webster's done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I imagine the wicket will be quite flat.
Not so sure.
On that.
Very green at the moment.
So that wicket, you guys can speak of this. So that wicket gets uncovered 2 days before the test match and everyone just completely freaks out and goes, oh my God, which one's the pitch? It looks like a billiard table, the whole square. What are we going to do? Blah, blah, blah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but...
You get hit playing backyard cricket?
Yeah. I got switch hit by my 9-year-old, would you believe? That's what I got for Christmas. Yeah, she switched it. She changed the grip on the thing. Like, I didn't teach her. I don't know how to switch hit.
Tell her that's where the money is.
You don't know how to hit it. I've still got that video. Yep, carry on.
By the sound of your voice, you didn't hit one as well.
So that pitch looks...
Stumped.
A little green. However...
Don't worry about that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, that is generally what a pitch looks like 3 days out from a test. It dries out a little.
Dries out a little, gets a little trim. They'll get it right. I mean, there is also, I know it's Sydney, but there is some weather around as well, but I actually think it's going to be pretty good this test match. So, it doesn't need to be flat either. Like, I understand this whole, and it's all come up with all this money lost, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's elite sport. You can't always control the result, especially in test cricket. Like... Come on, guys, let's get over that fact. Money's money, but, I mean, you want the contest, and the contest was there in Melbourne, so I think there'll be a contest in Sydney. How long it goes, we'll wait and see.
I was entertained in Melbourne.
I had so much fun.
Yeah.
And I was probably the most exhausted human being I've ever been. And it was 2 days of test match because I couldn't keep up with everything that was going on.
Yeah.
Like working in the media had to be across sort of what was happening, who was getting out when, and it was all happening so fast that I felt like I had a headache. But it was so much fun to watch.
Yeah. It wasn't not entertaining. It was different to what we see Test cricket as. But if we take away, as Healy said, the money lost, the fans disappointed. I'm disappointed for that bit because so many people have come out from the UK and brought day 3 tickets. But I was entertained in what I was watching. Is it different? Wow, so different to what we're used to. And yes, you'd like a longer test match for the fans, but it wasn't not entertaining.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I didn't like it overall.
Yeah.
I thought...
I didn't like it, but it was. Yeah. But you can't say it wasn't entertaining.
No, midway through the second day, I'm sitting there going, oh, far out. Wickets are falling, good skillful bowling.
Yeah.
I'm going, far out. Like, I wasn't at that point, the entertainment had stopped, and the reality, it didn't hit me as hard as, say, Todd Greenberg, I dare say, but the reality thing, this is going to be over way too quickly, unfortunately. However, on that, the fallout, so Matt Page fronts up 9 a.m. the next morning, does a press conference. Yeah. You know something's gone wrong. I've said it many times, when an assistant coach is lobbing up for a press conference mid-test match and a curator is lobbing up for a press conference after a test match, and Matt Page did that. His fault? Or, in the eyes of Matthew Haddin on All Over Bar the Cricket, Michael DiVenuto's fault that we couldn't bat properly.
Well, actually, there's a bit of both. There was a lot on offer. It slayed more to the bowling side with what the surface was offering. But the surface didn't get everyone out. Travis Head got out to an absolute jaffa, but he was playing well. He'd found a way to bat on the surface. Other players just hadn't found a way to play on the surface. That the batters have to be accountable for what they produce as well. You can't. The first defence mechanism is not to say the wicket. It's to have a look on your own game and think, could I have done anything different on that surface?
On that, sorry to butt in, but I had a look at all the wickets again this morning before we did it. So 13 top 7 batsmen got out for Australia. Steve Smith not out, second innings. 7 of the 13 I would put in the category of why did I play that, or why did I do that, as opposed to, or that was not a lot I could do about that. So 7 of the 13, one of them was a run out, Cameron Green. So 6 of the 13 handled deliveries, which ordinarily they might go back and think, oh, maybe I should do that differently in those circumstances. How much do cricketers revise that when they get out?
All the time.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah. And I hope they're not just lobbing it on the batting coach like everybody else is piling in on Diva. It's not Diva's fault. No. He can only control what he does and teach them about the game, teach them about it, help them with their technique. He can't go out there and make the decisions for them either. So I feel like that, first and foremost, that lob on him is completely unjustified. And then secondly, I think, upon reflection, I feel like maybe there was a little bit too much grass on it, because once you give guys with that much skill and that much airspeed an opportunity on that sort of wicket, they're going to flourish. But at the same time, there wasn't a lot of defensive cricket being played. You know, you're up against it. You know that the surface is offering a little bit for the bowlers. At no point did somebody think, I'm going to dig in here and make it count. The people who did do that will look really good for a moment in time. Then Cam Green gets run out, or you do fall to a good ball. But I think on the back of Hads's point, I think it's a mixture of both. I mean, you take 1 or 2 mils off that. From all reports, he prepared that wicket like it was like he would a Shield game. Like I remember Scott Boland for the Test match saying, I've seen greener than this walking out for a Shield game. But you're up against guys who don't quite have the airspeed and probably aren't as skillful as what you would see at the highest level. So if you give them the opportunity on that, they're going to do some damage. 1
Shield game at SCG so far this season, 382 first innings for Victoria. So it's like, it had a bit of spice about it, but it was able to be handled. New South Wales didn't handle it too well because they got rolled twice for about 150. Steve Smith was the only bloke who knew what he was doing with the bat.
He was the same in the Test match.
Yeah.
And going back, as I said, there's a bit of both. It's not all on the surface. Yes, it had a little bit too much in it, But there was also an element of the batters need to take more responsibility.
Well, even think about Steve Smith's comments straight after the play, right? They asked him straight away about the wicket, and he didn't blame it.
No.
He just said, it may have swayed in the favour of the bowlers. Yeah. But he didn't. At no point did he say, this is the curator's fault or the wicket was too hard. He was just like, it may have been favoured the bowlers a little bit. So maybe we could have adjusted a little bit better. Like, no one talks about the other way around when it's absolutely flat and the batters are completely in favour. We're not.
Well, they did. Alistair Cook ruined it for everyone.
I did love that he came out and apologised.
That was clever.
But I don't know. I think Sydney's going to be, I don't think it's going to be flat, but I think they will find a happy medium, hopefully.
We mentioned Weatherald and Bo Webster and Usman Khawaja and all of that in terms of selection, but Cameron Green, he's been the focal point of much angst when it comes to his position in the team. Oddly enough, he scored the second most runs by an Australian in that test match.
Yeah.
I think Sundries was about 4th or 5th, but anyway, that's by the by. So where's he at? Like, how much heat's under him? Have you been around teammates who have been under this kind of scrutiny? Because it doesn't feel like the scrutiny is coming from within. It's from outside. So how much does that kind of filter in from the outside?
I think there's a little bit of both. I wouldn't imagine that's. I think they're doing everything they can within the environment to make him, feel comfortable, feel valued. He's obviously played a crucial role at times with ball in hand. So I don't think there's as much scrutiny coming from within, but I think there are probably some questions starting to be asked about what do we do? And I think they don't know the answers themselves by the way that they keep moving him around the order, which doesn't help. And I know you've spoken quite a lot about it, how that doesn't help him. But I feel like he just really needs to find a way to approach his cricket. And no matter what number you're batting in Test cricket, I don't think that really matters in this lineup. You just got to find a way to do it yourself. So I don't think he's quite found his gear yet. I mean, Alex Carey comes out, he counterpunches, right? He gets busy, gets up and down, takes the boundaries on offer. Travis Head comes out and whacks him when he gets width. Cameron Green's a little bit unsure at the moment whether I'm going to defend or whether I'm actually going to hit the ball. So I think he needs to find that out first and foremost and feel comfortable in whatever number he plays with that. That this is the way that I shape my game. This is how I'm going to play. He needs to get there first. And whether that's to go back and play more Shield cricket and work that out, maybe that's the opportunity. But he's still a baby. He's still young in that environment. And he's obviously very skillful, very talented, but just needs time to work that out.
Yeah, his dismissals in Melbourne, well, one was the run out. The other was, I think, reminiscent of Brad Haddin with the feather duster at home, just getting some dust off the shells, just like wafting at one outside.
Feather duster doesn't pick up the rubbish.
But that's also like his dismissals in that instance screams to me a guy who hasn't played a lot of cricket. That's what it says to me at that level, a lot of red ball cricket. So can you go back and almost offer him the opportunity like Marnus did and go back, work this out for yourself for a little bit, dominate domestic cricket, and then come back in this environment as a more of a complete player who knows more about their game. But
the point with all that is, where does he come back in? And I think that's the biggest problem we're having with Cameron Green at the moment. He's only played 40 test matches.
That's what I'm saying. Are you saying, though, he's a baby because he's had, like, he plays 10 and then something happens, you don't see him for 6, like that has kind of...
Yeah. Well, all of a sudden he can't bowl, right?
Yeah.
So then his role changes again. Yeah. So then he's got to go back and figure out, okay, I'm a batter now in this lineup. How do I contribute there? It just feels like there's been a lot of change throughout his 40 tests so far.
He's been selected at 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 within that time frame, and I can't think of a cricketer.
Watto.
Yeah.
Shane Watson. He had 1 and 2. Yeah.
Yeah, the same happened to Watto. I think he's a talent. We've gone down the path that we want him to develop. We need him to play good test cricket. Just give him a spot for 10 test matches and judge him on there, whether that's at number 6, number 7, 5.
What do you reckon it is?
I think he's a number 6 batter that bowls.
I think he's a number 6 too, but you can't move Alex Carey. Like, I don't know, would you put him up or down though? I don't feel like you can put him down, but then is it too much for him to bat 5?
Yeah, I think Alex has done an amazing job. The way he's played, the way he's counter-attacked everyone, and we needed him at 6 and he went in and filled that role. It wouldn't matter if Alex Carey went to 7. He'd played the same role. He can bat with the tail. It's just, Cameron Green might be the number 7. It's just give him a role for the next 10 test matches, and then we'll judge. And he's a 6 or a 7 at the moment because they decided to move him from 5 so that they don't see him as a number 5 at the moment.
What is he in India? Because that's where we're going to be playing our biggest test series in the next 12 months.
It's not about
5 test series over there.
No, we just need, whether it's India or here, we've got enough test matches. Just give him a role and let him feel comfortable in his role, feel comfortable in his game. Like he batted at 3 in the West Indies in tough conditions. He didn't get the big score, but we see an improvement, and then we moved him back down.
Yeah.
Just give him a role.
The English, Brendan McCullum, his horse got a win yesterday in New Zealand. That's on the rundown because I reckon producer Joel backed it.
He sent that through on the WhatsApp.
He was all over it. Okay, so they win the test match. It's 3-2. Do they go home thinking, oh, that was pretty good?
Well, apparently, yes. They've come out and said that. So, but even like Andrew McDonald's comments after the test match, they're asking a bit about the series, and he said, well, the Ashes were done at 3-0.
Yeah.
Now it's just about World Test Championship points and whatnot.
It's a very binary way of looking at it, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that's kind of the way that it's gone now with the championship, right? And now that 5-0's out the window, Australia might actually go, oh, we'll throw a few things to chance a little bit and try a few different things. But I genuinely think that if England get this back to 3-2, they'll go home and go, oh, we can do this. We've got some form, but then you got to wait another couple of years to play Australia again.
I wonder if they get it. I don't think they'll get it to 3-2, but if they get it to 3-2, wonder if they'll go home when they're looking back and say, well, maybe if we had played 2 practice games leading in.
Yeah.
That's another subject. Sorry, Adam.
No, that to me, if they go home and think 3-2, oh yeah, we were right in that. We should have, and if Adelaide went a little twist or Travis Head didn't go off in Perth, we would have won the Ashes. What a load of garbage.
But they have been in this whole series. Like, that's the beauty of it. They have been so close and yet so far away at the same time. They've had a sniff in every test match to win the game.
But one of the big things in sport is it not control the controllables, and they haven't controlled their preparation as well as they could
I
don't
quite agree with the preparation talk. I don't. Because...
But wasn't the cricket in the first 3 tests down to the fact that they were still adjusting to conditions?
Did you say that? Did we say that when they were 1 for 100 in front in Perth, when they bowled Aussies out in the first innings?
Yeah, but then they forgot about the bouncy pitch.
What they forgot about was understanding momentum swings in test matches.
Don't you get that in the lead up and understand? Test matches.
I'm not saying that they're
not against a state team or a CA11.
No.
Can't get that.
No, not when you're pounding them. Yeah. Like, it's a different story.
Yeah. The only thing I would have changed in their preparation was train at the Wacker.
That's it.
Yep.
Couldn't, mate. WBBL was on. Priorities.
Well,
as Nasser Hussain said, a year out you booked Noosa, but a year out you couldn't book the Wacker.
Yeah.
That's a very good point he made.
He's not wrong, but the preparation can look different. Like you come into a series now, the Aussies don't play tour games anymore. And they've won tours and big series. You've got to trust that they know what their preparation was. They needed to train on bouncy wickets. I think that. Yeah, even going back to their game at Lilac Hill and thinking now of Ben Stokes' reaction when he was getting that 6-fer.
When 4 of them were caught at mid-wicket, deep mid-wicket.
Yeah, but the wicket was slow. It just wasn't what they were preparing for. Maybe they could have got that. It's a tour game. Oh, that's here or there. I'm not buying into that.
I'm saying it was an overconfident, without justification preparation. I think we're meeting in the middle somewhere. I think we're on the same page. But it's
Is this our first argument on the podcast?
No.
We're not arguing because I'm right.
No, but I think you just said it before, right?
Yeah.
Control your controllables, and they did. That's how you control them, and that's what Australia do when they go to India or the subcontinent now. They control what they can, and that means potentially not having practice games because you actually don't know what you're going to get. Normally, they lob in 4 quicks and they put grass on the wicket and off you go. So they've tried to control that as much as they possibly can. Did it backfire? Maybe. I guess that'll be long spoken about. But I think
tactics they got wrong.
Yeah, they've been a lot closer than I feel like it has been, and Australia will win the Ashes, have won the Ashes series, but we'll probably reflect on it and go, phew, at times.
Yeah, the Aussies have played some really good cricket. Their bowlers have been outstanding. They rolled the dice.
That Stark bloke's been unreal.
It's been pretty good.
We haven't heard about him before.
Yeah.
Youngster into the game, yeah.
Yeah, brand new. Yeah.
Brand new.
Anyway.
Brand new.
Plays with a wobble seam now.
But like in the postscript in England, if they don't look at it and go, okay, have a thorough investigation about how they got that wrong for next time, because when they come out in 4 years' time, it'll be the biggest thing since you know what. But they'll look at it and go, Pat Cummins played one test. Josh Hazlewood didn't play a test. Steve Smith missed out on the test.
Yep.
Like you weren't exactly playing against full pelt Australia, who even at full pelt in the eyes of some English weren't a great side. Yeah,
We've been good.
Yeah.
Like we can't, like, we talk about England's preparation and they've prepared for this for 3 years out. They've spoken about that.
Yeah.
What we can't miss is how good we've been.
Mm.
We've won the big moments. Even the moment when Travis Head opened, they realised they got that wrong in the first innings, quickly changed it on the run. All of a sudden they win that test match. And then they go to Brisbane and once again we won the big moments. We made a huge call not to play Nathan Lyon. Nessa was outstanding. Alex Carey played out of his skin with the role he played up to the stumps. We've been really good. We've been really well prepared and nothing has been a shock. Even
That's what I'm getting at about England, because it looks like they've had a few shocks along the way.
No, they've lost the big moments.
Yeah. Okay.
That they haven't recognised as quick as we have.
Enjoying this, aren't you?
Well,
Yeah, it's fun.
Even Melbourne, we announced that we weren't playing the spinner 2 days out. We knew the wicket was going to do that.
Yeah.
So it was a preparation.
The only thing I'll say, like, on the English stuff is I wonder if, and maybe being around the media a little bit more and hearing people speak and the disappointment, I think more so from the English media side of things, is how that's all unfolded. So they're not really getting any insights into what's going on behind the scenes. Then you got all your past players who they've kind of pushed away because they've has-beens, whatever they're called them, brush them aside. That's the wrong way to go about it, because all of a sudden you get them offside, and if stuff doesn't quite go your way, they're going to start ripping in really quickly. So they've tried to keep their little bubble. I just feel like when you've got access to some of the resourcing in English cricket that have been there, done that, won in Australia before, why not utilise it? They might not be everything that you believe in, but at least go and have the conversation, bring them into your environment and show them exactly this is what we're trying to achieve. Because at the moment there's this mythical bubble around Bazball or that environment that no one really knows about. And I think if they let some of their past players, former players who are all working in the media into that environment, help them understand what's actually going on, it might be beneficial for them moving forward. That's all I'll say.
That's all I'll say. You said a lot though.
Yeah.
Reminded me of a pretty cool moment that you guys had in Adelaide when, of course, you go down to see your husband, but the past players, like, it literally got invited into the place, like, pretty.
Yeah. It was touching, actually. The past players were shocked, but also very honoured to be invited back into the room after the boys had won the Ashes. Didn't stay long. He stayed for one beer, quickly said, well done. Yeah, I was only there short time. You would have stayed a lot longer.
Nope. Thank you. I left before you. Thank you very much.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did.
Who was last out?
Don't know. I left quite early.
Yeah, but it was a beautiful gesture.
It was cool.
Everyone's proud of what this team's done, and for Andrew McDonald, Pat, and Todd to invite everyone down just to pop your head in for 15, 20 minutes. It was nice.
Rate that highly, and
I did.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm talking about. I mean, even someone like JL was in that change room, which obviously there's been quite a checkered past there, but he was in there, he was invited in, he was there, he was comfortable. There's never been any sort of animosity between JL and the players that I'm aware of after it's all gone down. But he's there having a beer with the guys that, he's helped produce along the way and sharing an Ashes win. I reckon that's really cool.
It's hard to go back in, actually, from a past play. You've had your time.
I feel uncomfortable that I'm a partner.
Yeah.
So let alone the old dudes.
Yeah. It was great to be asked, but you do, like, you've had your time. It was great when you were playing. You enjoyed the change room. You enjoyed everything that went with it. But once you're retired, guys, go and enjoy it. This is the best days of your life. But you feel a bit uncomfortable when you walk in. See, I've never walked. I've been retired 10 years. I've never walked back into a New South Wales change room.
Really?
Yeah, you're not invited, mate. That's what I heard.
You don't want to right now. quick drinks break on Willow Talk. Back in a moment with Travis Head and also Sundries. Welcome back to Willow Talk. Now, Bradley has vacated the room we're in here at Willow Talk Towers. He's gone to vacuum the hallways. Is that...
He brought his Dyson in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now, our next guest, thanks to Instant Tinting, is Travis Head. And none of that makes any sense whatsoever. But, Brad told us at the top of the show that he got 2 vacuum cleaners for Christmas and he was so happy about it. Can you top that in terms of a gift for either Christmas or happy birthday, your birthday?
Thank you. No, you probably can't top a vacuum cleaner, not 2 of them. Gone back to back, so normally you re-gift a second one, don't you? So maybe he's got one up his sleeve, so he shouldn't have let everyone know he's got a second vacuum cleaner because someone might end up with it.
And it's actually a good shout.
Watch out for whoever had the second vacuum cleaner.
Well, I don't know what you got for Christmas, Trav, but Mitch and I were a little bit late to lunch and we strolled on in and there's Travis sitting on his own in the corner. Sorry, not sitting on your own, with your beautiful daughter.
Yeah.
Sitting there with the largest plate of prawns, or the second largest plate of prawns I've ever seen. And we're like, is everything okay? Where's Jess? And obviously Jess was at home, but you're like, no, come for the prawns and I'm leaving.
Yeah, I've been done dirty on a few things. The boys obviously told the nation that I enjoy a prawn at Christmas. And then, Harry was sleeping. He's been pretty good this tour, so we didn't want to rock his schedule too bad. Daddy-daughter day. We did the same at Kirribilli last night with Miller. So, me and her have been doing the events together. And, took her and I knew I was going to only get probably one chance at some food before she cracked it. So, jammed in the prawns for Christmas and was happy again. So, order restored and ready to go for another big year.
Stay true to who you are, Trav.
Yeah,
exactly right.
Exactly.
I'm not going to miss out on that. CA for prawns. I'm always taking that.
Free for all. They have a bit to pay. I reckon they had some spare ones on day 3 after the MCG. We'll get to that in a moment. Did I see a photo of your daughter at Kirribilli House using the back lawn there of the PM's residence in Sydney as a slippery dip? She was having fun there?
It's the only way I got her there. Talking to her in the day, obviously trying to get her head around, hey, you're going to go out with Dad, you're going to go, we got an event to go to, you're coming with me, without her cracking out. And as I said, they got a real big long lawn, big hill you can go roll down it. And so all day she's just kept going roly-poly. And then I thought I'd be able to get her back in for the speaking gigs, but she missed the speeches. PM was chatting and she was at the back screaming roly-poly. So we went out and played and I missed all the important stuff. But she had an absolute ball and got some cool photos. So nice to look back on in future years.
Kind of reminiscent of a lot of the adults out the back of Adelaide Oval after that test, in the third session, just yelling out indiscriminate things when they're having fun out the back there. So in the adults' playground there, Trav.
It would have been a few rolling down Montefiore Hill, that's for sure, yeah.
Hey, the news of the day or the week is Usman Khawaja. He's retiring from Test cricket. We've asked the two in here about their memories of Uzi. Give us one from your perspective, if you could.
Amazing career. Probably took me a bit by surprise. I wasn't sure there was been a lot of chatter about what decision he'd make, and I wasn't not really sure where he was going to go. So, a bit flat. He didn't thank me for getting him back in the Test team all those years ago, but I got COVID, so a bit disappointed with that. Probably that Test. Honestly, like if you look back, between that and I think that and my debut in Dubai, batting with him for a draw. A draw sounds weird, but with what obviously this team's been through over a long period of time in the history of the game in Asia, and to pull off 2 days of batting and to bat with him, for him to get 100, to spend some time out there and to look back that and go, that was probably one of his big moments of his career coming back into the team. It's he's had some pretty special moments over my career, and I've played a lot of Test cricket with him in my career, and it's been well documented at the start of his career being in and out, but since he'd come back in that 21 season and he's pretty much bossed it for us and being that guy at the top of the order to be rock solid for us to be able to set a platform for the rest of us to play really well.
It's actually a really weird person to ask that question too, because if you think about how your careers have aligned to an extent, you had COVID, he came back in, he had a back spasm, you opened the batting and then you almost kept him out after that. So it's all a bit a little bit bizarre.
Full circle. Digger joked about a little bit. I sort of got him his spot back, and then it took me 5 years to take his spot back again. So, no, he's been incredible. It's been, I think he's played 88 tests off the top of my head. I think I might have seen something today to be in that sort of category of people. There'd be a low percentage of test cricketers at that stage in Australian history of playing sort of 85 plus test matches. It's a huge achievement, somewhere that he's obviously spoken a lot about at some stage of his career, thinking he probably not get that chance to do it again and not get that chance to be at that stage. So, yeah, it's a huge week for him. Obviously a huge week for the team now. It gives us a bit of motivation to make sure that come whenever that moment is that we potentially win a game, and he can enjoy a couple of Coke Zeros and enjoy the week.
Hey, we were having would you call it a robust debate or just a debate? Or like Alyssa was basically sitting here.
The two dads were fighting, and I was just in the middle of it.
Along the lines of how England will look back on this series, if it's 3-2, 4-1, whatever it is, 3-1, if it rains for 5 days in Sydney, which is a possibility, of course. But not so much from that perspective, but your perspective, Trav, and how you viewed the series and what it's been defined by so far going into Sydney.
Probably hard to look at it in series, like when you look at your mind obviously on Sydney, but I don't try and look too far back in the series and just wait for it to play out and then sort of look back. But if you had to pinpoint sort of probably just moments really, just moments of test series where, and we've probably been lucky, we've done it a few times over a few summers now, where if you looked at a lot of the last India, Pakistan before that, I know we played really well against South Africa 3 or 4 summers ago, but if you sort of look at that Pakistan summer, the Indian summer, and now here, it's like big moments we were able to step up, and they were 1 for 100 ahead in Perth, and we're able to claw that back and win a game. Again, Brisbane, the way Starkey batted, gets 80, gets us to the night session, and we bossed that game again. And just like moments, even in the third innings in Adelaide, where we felt like it was a really good wicket. We didn't get enough in the first. We didn't feel like we got enough in the first innings. Can we put the nail in the coffin? And then, look, we're able to do that again. So, I think just people have stepped up, and we've done that over a big period of time now. And probably last week was one of the times that we didn't. And then when the game's on the edge and we feel like we had it just under control and we felt like we had the ascendancy a little bit like they did in Perth, and you just miss a chance and you lose the game of cricket. So I think we've seen both sides of it from both teams now in over the Test series, where, if you don't pick up that big moment, if you don't, just have that crucial partnership or that match-defining effort, then you're probably going to go a long way to not winning the game.
On that note, like how... I know you say you're mid-series and it's probably hard to speak about, but upon reflection, like, are you really proud of the group and how you guys have been able to adapt really quickly? Like, you haven't had it all your way at any point in time. You're missing players, your captain's in, your captain's out, changes in the batting order, different bowling attacks, whatnot. England have had it pretty steady right throughout, but is there a secret to how you guys have been able to manage that behind the scenes, or is it just great culture and great camaraderie?
I think when you've built a squad and that mentality, the next man in sort of thing, and we've talked about problem solving on the go, all the sort of cliches that you hear for this team over probably 3 or 4 years now as gets you in a great space when you talk about evolving batting orders and where blokes fit and, having bowlers on the sidelines that are ready to go, that are itching at the bit to get a chance, and then at some stage, this team's not going to be the same as it always was, and we haven't made many changes over the last 3 or 4 years. So when you got guys that are ready to go, hardened, ready to go, and know, it just seems like sort of works seamlessly. So I think this series has been a massive showpiece for one. How good of a job as Ron and Bales, Dodders, and Pat have done around not one the selection of the team, the squads that they've had around, who they've had around, how they've built the team, but then also just how they've got the team playing and the buy-in from the next person in to be able to do the job and be ready to do the job. So I think a huge lot of thanks and well, from a player's perspective, thanks goes to the staff, be able to get the guys in the right space, and then credit to the guys to be able to go out and do it. So that's probably been the most impressive part, is that we've been put under the pressure in terms of what it looks externally and as a team wise, and then to put out a product and play the way we have, that has looked like it would be as it was full strength is exciting for where we're going moving forward now that Uz's made a decision and guys are getting older and a few of the big boys are getting injured every now and then, and we've got guys that are ready to go.
A week removed from Melbourne, of course. It was over before we knew it. And, you know, I made mention before that it's not a great sign when the curator's doing a press conference after the test match to explain what went on. You guys did a fan day the morning after, so it's kind of surreal. But how did you feel you guys handled those conditions in the third innings? I mean, I remember your dismissal. You laughed yourself off, didn't you? Because there was not a lot you could do about your pill that you copped. But on reflection, how's the batting group look at what they served up, what they could control in that third innings, looking ahead to Sydney?
Yeah, I think each guy goes out. Obviously, I found the amusing side of it until probably then we lost 3. I felt like we were right on the brink, and I talked about moments of the game. I think they were obviously a bowler down. I felt like we weren't far away from spin. And then that probably really breaks the game open, having to force them to bowl over and over again. And look, Carlos is never ever going to step down and back down. We know Stokes, he's not. Tangi bowled extremely well. So a huge effort for them as a 3-man pace attack to make it the breakthrough. I wasn't over the moon when I said I got out, and then we lost 3 for 10, and it was like I thought we had the ascendancy of the game to get sort of 250 plus to sort of draw the game out and to almost put the foot down and shut them out, and we weren't able to do that. So yeah, it's probably frustrating because we're right there on the brink of it, and then they're the ones that hurt probably the most when you feel like you've got a game right there for the taking, and naturally we do. So the expectation would be that we would do that, and having not done that, you sort of look back and sort of feel like you've missed a chance. So disappointing, but again, like tough wicket. But I feel like we're a good enough batting lineup to get through that. But that's only my personal opinion. And we look to a new place, new SCG. You guys have trained well, so try and put that in the back now and carry on with still another test match opportunity to win.
On that note, I'll ask, get a little platform to do it. There's been a lot of piling on of poor Diva over the last probably week or two from certain people, you know, that we love and respect in the game. Do you have any thoughts on that? I just feel like it's a little bit unfair. I mean, we've picked a lineup in form. Guys are making runs for fun. We've picked it. We've played some tricky conditions throughout this Ashes series. I don't think it comes down to one guy flinging balls at a batter. I don't know. I feel like it's unjustified, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think we've done a pretty good job over the first 3 tests, and everyone was pretty happy. And I think that's just the trend of, I think, media. The media at the moment, it's headline, it's storyline, it's there's a storyline out of every test, and there's something that is needs. It's not just commenting now on just the game, and England bowl well, and England may not batted just quite as well as we Australia haven't batted as quite as well as we normally have. Tough, challenging conditions, and when we move on. It sort of has to be storyline. It has to be pinpointed at someone. Look how much. You probably say the same thing about England. They like looking from outside in, and how hard they're probably going after a few people, and Baz and they've done an incredible job up until now. Like when you look at it, and they're one game away, they're 1 innings away in Perth from probably being so like it's so inflated either way. So as a player, you just sort of it is what it is. The one of the comments, I don't care if there's 50 mil of grass on it, we should be better, which is quite funny. I don't. 10 was enough. I don't know how much 50 would be. And then yeah, and like, and everyone's era is different. Like, look at the G. There's some highlights that come up with the G in 2002, 4, and 5 that look quite nice to bat on. Brian Armour's trying to swing it down the line to left-handers, and bloke stepping down leg stump and smacking them everywhere. So the game's a lot different. Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I don't think it should always fall on one person. It's a team game. Everyone's in it as a team. But yeah, the media around us were pretty good for 3 tests, and yeah, you can have one bad day, but and I think the storyline falls that way. But that's just media these days. It needs to be breaking news every day, and someone needs to come up with something new and something fresh. So yeah, it's a bit different than what it was probably 10 or 20 years ago, where we just commented on who won, who lost.
We'll lob in on you next time, Trav, will we?
Yeah,
Just step
we
in
try to
No,
avoid
don't
it here at
worry.
Willow
And
Talk.
that's
But
the thing. It comes and goes. You have your time. Like, I've been very fortunate, lucky to play well this test, at least this summer, and no one's really commented how bad I look at the crease sometimes, and other summers it's the same. So there's a pile on coming at some stage, and that's just how it is. And then you try and work through that, and you're working hard. And yeah, it's just disappointing that Div cops the fall for 6 or 7 batters for the week, but we're big boys, and that's the game sometimes, and we move on.
if you could give a shout out as well, Trav, while we're going, our producer Joel was the guy who came up with that nice shot of, well, he put it through AI, but he prompted AI to do it, of you and Alex Carey together at the hanging in the Louvre. So yeah, there you
Nice.
go. A memento.
Copyright issues as well, because if I chucked it up there, I thought it was definitely something to look back on and go, that was pretty cool. So yeah, he's done an extremely good job there. I did enjoy that.
Oh, well, some Gronk who went to university for 7 years did a good job. Joel just capitalised on their technology. So but it was the thought that counts, isn't it? So that's the main thing. That's the main
exactly
thing.
right. Yeah,
A quick one on Big Bash. Is that in your near future, or you're up in the air at the moment?
Oh, I got to be careful what I say here, because I've been rinsed in the last couple of days. I shouldn't have used the word like I did a thing with Cherney the other day and said mentally pretty fatigued. I just shouldn't have said anything about people work a lot harder than what we do. When you look back in your comments and you go, oh yeah, we did play, we played 12 or 13 days of test cricket. It does look like a pretty stupid comment to say. I sort of thought, where my head's at is if you go by trends of the last few seasons when I've had big summers and you put a lot of energy into big series like this, and we've got sort of 10 days off before I go to Pakistan, that I said the likelihood would be I probably won't feature. Using the words for mentally fatigued or tired or like it's been a big series. And that's just looking at having another test match coming. So if I put myself in the position on January 10 when I get home, they'll go, okay, like we've had a huge summer. What's going to put me in the best position to try and win a World Cup? It's probably getting ready to go again. So taking 10 days to sort of prepare myself physically, mentally to get ready again. So yeah, the likelihood is that I probably wouldn't play if you would go on recent years, but I probably used the wrong comments in the media a couple of last week, and for rightly so, people pretty disappointed in those words that I've used. So I totally understand that people work a lot harder than what we potentially do, but yeah, I learned from that. Probably won't use those words again in the future.
Fair enough. Before that, though, last one, you're hoping to have a beer or one of your gins with the English at the end of all this. It'd be nice if we could rekindle that, correct?
I think we will. There would be no reason not to. So we also did speak about that the other day. So yeah, no, there'd be no reason not to. I would be expecting that. Yeah, look forward. I've got good relationships with a few of them. So like I said, I think it's been played really well. It's been played hard. It's been played fair. I look forward to a really, really good week. Hopefully we come out on the winning side of it. And then, yeah, I wouldn't see why there wouldn't be a time post-game that the teams get together and share a moment. And, yeah, I know it's going to be obviously a massive moment for us as well. So there's a few send-offs and a few things to kick off. So, yeah, again, have a good week, but look forward to being able to send a few people or send us off and have a beer with English is something that's probably going to happen.
Yeah, Diet Coke for us. Gilly will bring his
what do you get him? That's what we said. No, what do you get him? I know blokes in the past have got wine and gins and Grangers and all sorts of. And so I said, well, is there vintages of Coke that you get us, or does he go to full strength now that he's retired from international cricket? So no, I'm sure there'll be a nice little gift for him as well, which is also a nice moment.
Has the friendliness of the series surprised you? I know international cricket's changed and the franchise cricket has done that. But I mean, has that surprised you a little bit? There's guys having a laugh, a joke before days play, before each fixture.
Well, Carey hasn't stumped anyone. So
yeah, not really.
That's relations.
Even that like past Ashes series has been like the way I've played it against guys. Like I know I had Rory Burns and a couple Ashes series posts who I played club cricket with. So look, there's always gonna be, you can have banter and like I've said, I feel like our dressing room is more brutal than going out and playing sometimes, because the guys that know you so well give you so much stick. Who was you've been around the group a lot, you understand that. And there'd be times where, like, yeah, if guys that you get along with opposition, and you almost like more competitive because of that, or it does come out in a bit of a fire, but it hasn't really. And yeah, there's different guys that go about it different ways. I enjoy that sort of banter, sort of joke. There's no doubt I've been sledged here or there during this series, or told that I'm a cowboy, but sort of giggling. Everyone already knows that, so it doesn't really matter. And then you sort of joke about it and they get over it. So there's like little moments of it, but like that's like any game. You sort of back and forth with a bit of banter for the guys that speak, the guys that don't speak. So yeah, it's been played well. But in terms of friendly, I wouldn't say it's friendly. There's still, do not want to lose against them. But it's played in the right way.
Nice. Good to hear. Trav, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks to Instant Tinting, and good luck at the SCG test. Play well.
Thank you, guys. Cheers. Enjoy the week. Talk soon.
So Sundries, guys, Travis Head is in the T20 squad for the World Cup, which is going to happen quick. Early February it starts. Mitch Marsh, captain. Pat Cummins is in the squad. Matt Kuhneman is also there. And Cooper Connolly. What do we make of it? Obviously for conditions-based selections.
I like the squad. It's a specialist 2020 squad. You got some guys like obviously Travis Head's there, but you got some specialist players in that form of the game only, like Marcus Stoinis, Matt Shaw gets another opportunity. Maxi's still there for the format that he loves to play. Tim David, there's a few under injuries.
Yeah, Tim David's out of the Big Bash.
Yeah, well, you got Josh Hazelwood to come back in also, but I enjoy the squad. I think it's a good one.
No Mitch Owen, unlucky?
Well, he was up against Marcus Stoinis, Cameron Green, and Mitch Owen's had a really good crack over the last 12 months. It won't be the last time you see him in Australian T20 side, but at the moment, his development is still going. He's not going to play at the top of the order, and you've got guys probably at the moment more suited to the back end of the game.
Yep.
And obviously no Mitch Stark because he's retired from T20.
He's retired. It's like we need to remind everyone of that. The only one I thought little bit stiff was Ben Dwarshuis. I thought maybe he might sneak in the side, but I also understand kind of the spin-heavy nature of it, going to India, playing in those conditions. Especially someone like a finger spinner like Matthew Kuhneman could be quite handy over there. But Cooper Connolly, like, well-deserved. I'm very excited to watch him in that World Cup. I think it's going to be almost like a little bit of a breakout for him. I reckon he's in good form at the moment, but he's also highly confident and he'll get real role clarity within that team, which is really cool. The only other thing that is a slight concern, no backup keeper.
Who would take the gloves if
I tell you who I'm looking at.
Something happened to
like
Josh Inglis?
Maxi. Yeah, Maxi's the only one.
Yeah. Imagine Cameron Green with the gloves.
Yeah.
But Max is the only one. Maybe Travis Head.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, that would be a little bit concerning knowing, Ingo's had a few like back and calf issues. Slightly concerning, but I am sure they've thought all that through.
I would have thought it's a pretty important role if something does happen to your keeper that you can't just throw the gloves to someone just to do it for the sake of it. Can't be that easy,
we have
surely.
this discussion
real
a lot.
hard. It's really, really hard.
Well, a lot of teams go down that path, right? And they just pick like a batter who can keep a little bit. And I feel like after every tournament, they regret it. And you wonder why, because it's actually the wicketkeeper in T20 format is more important because the chances come few and far between. So if your keeper takes them, it's a game-changing opportunity. So it's like a fascinating discussion, but you genuinely need a proper keeper especially in a World Cup like that.
Yeah, and they've got to also develop the need to talk a lot, some personality quirks that can't be explained, together. All those things like an addiction to cleaning, things like that.
Addiction. Everyone likes a clean house.
Look at someone like Wadey in the Big Bash at the moment, right?
Yeah.
He's still doing the job behind the stumps, first and foremost. But he's like, you can see he's that guy. He's the energizer buddy of the Hobart Hurricanes. He's up there. He's making them throw it in properly, do all the little things in the field. It's a really important role. So, yeah, obviously we want Josh to play in every single game, but if something happens, hopefully they fly someone in.
We're around about the halfway point of the Big Bash, the Bash of Bigness. What is a trait that's rapidly developing as to a team or teams that are doing things well, they're getting that right, as opposed to the teams down the bottom who are struggling? What's a key indicator?
Wickets in the power play. That's been a big one. Yeah. If you can find a bowler up front to get wickets in a power play, it's made a huge difference. Teams are sending, you haven't got the 2 overs to work yourself in. You've only got 4 overs. Teams have been sending out a hitter to take advantage of those overs. And if you can find a way to get a couple of wickets, you're going a long way to controlling the tempo of the game.
Yeah, probably the one that stood out for me, and it happened in the WBBL as well, was how many paces bowl a power play now. I feel like back in the day in the T20, you used to, spinner would get 1 or 2, maybe 3 overs in the power play.
Yeah.
But now with the whole 2-ball situation where you get a new one in the second over, the paces are starting to dominate that part of the game, which is cool. And you get to see people charge in, swing the ball, get a little bit of movement. So, yeah, I agree. But I think the highly balanced teams are at the top of the table right now.
The other thing I've noticed with, say, the Stars and the Hurricane, and they're 1 and 2, is their best players are coming in at 4, 5 and 6 or 5, 6 and 7, where they're back-ending their run chase with the power surge and backing themselves to get 90 or 100 off the last 10. Stars are doing it with Maxwell, Stoinis, Hilton, Cartwright. They've had some real success with Harper going up the top, but he's playing a really high-risk game. He's been playing beautifully, but the same with the Hurricanes. Their batting depth starts at 4, where you've got McDermott, Wade, Tim David, and their power's been in that middle.
Weird seeing the Stars where they are.
There's to lose.
Upside down world.
I was just looking at the Sixers, and there was a big game.
That's a shock.
Yeah, that they played Renegades because they've been scratchy, and they've been scratchy for some time. And then Steve Smith and Starkey lob, and all of a sudden, the 20s and 30s, everyone's getting a couple of wickets here. You throw Starkey in with the new ball, Steve Smith at the top, who gets 100 for fun when he comes back.
So he's going to back up. He said he was playing 3, was he?
I think he's got 3 games in Big Bash. So they've got to stay at the top of the table for them to have some sort of impact.
Right now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been enjoyable, that's for sure. I mean, some high-scoring affairs. That game at the Gabba was still... I remember sitting there watching that during the Adelaide Test match going, what am I witnessing? Like 230 plays 230, whatever it was. That was just such good cricket.
Yeah.
And no one bowled badly. No. They just got whacked. It was just, it's been highly entertaining.
Well, the other thing here is I've been looking at it. There's been a bit of a disconnect, I reckon. The Thunder have got their recruitment wrong because they've recruited for a wicket that he had 160 on, spin comes in. They had left arm orthodox. They had Green. They got Shadab Khan, who suit their old surface. And David Warner sort of pointed to it in a pre-match the other day. He said, we're used to this sort of conditions where it spins and they got batsmen that can work, spin, chase 160, but the surface is different. They've seen 200 out there. You've seen 180 from the Sixers, but it looks like a bit of a disconnect with the way they prepared and what their surface is.
Yeah. Curators, you've got to stay in touch with them. You've got to stay with them.
They've always been very spin heavy though, the Thunder, to an extent. So, but that probably is conditions based. But I mean, they've been going down to Monica and it's been flat.
Yeah. Well, they've got a good record there. It's their home conditions is not playing where they had all their success last year. I'd be filthy.
Then you just got to make yourself a really good away team.
Yeah, and that's hard.
Yeah.
Puts pressure on. WPL as well. January 10 it starts. Annabelle Sutherland and Elise Perry, though, won't be there.
Was anyone called up?
Outski.
Alana King, I believe, replaced Annabelle Sutherland.
And you going to break anything?
Oh, no. God, no. Shan't be there.
God, no. That's a, yep. Yeah. That's a negative. Jesus.
I shouldn't have said that.
No.
Go back. It's just like...
If the price is right.
Yeah, most of the Aussie players are there, though. I'll be intrigued to see, now that India have won the World Cup.
You got too many tea times booked throughout the back end of January.
I got work commitments.
That's what that response was.
Work commitments.
It wasn't anything to do with not wanting to go. It's more, oh no, I've sorted my diary. Sorry, go.
Yeah, working. I got you two to hang out with a bit too. No, I'm interested to see how the competition grows again after India won the World Cup. So I've seen a lot of commentary come out after that, a lot of promotion, a lot of talk about, Indian women's cricket, which is cool. They're playing Sri Lanka at the moment, just beat them in a series. So I want to see it grow. I want to watch it and see it grow again, go to another standard, another level. That would be great. I mean, you want to get your competition to a point where don't need the international players to make the competition what it is. Obviously, they're there for a reason. But I think now that India have got a trophy. It's time for the Indian players to shine in that tournament, which is cool. And obviously, you're missing two of the biggest names in world cricket this year. So an opportunity for some younger players to stand up, which will be good to watch.
Will we hear you behind the microphone? No. Oh, you have got tea times booked.
Well, no, we've got...
No, here in Australia, you might.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Not in India. I will be preparing for a series against India.
Yes.
Feb, March that we've got at home. So
she's still actually a cricketer.
Bit of domestic cricket.
Yeah.
Looking forward to rocking around for New South Wales again.
New South Wales.
New South Wales, yeah.
Good.
Can't wait.
Win us a title.
They won last year, so I feel like I'm just going to add, just be a real detriment to the side when I go in there. Just going to feel it slip.
I think not. Take your Christmas presents along to lighten the mood.
the remote control car.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm really looking forward to that. I think that'll be good. But I reckon the WNCL around January as well is going to be fun.
Yep.
Heels, Hads, thank you. See you at the Sydney Test.
Cheers.
Can't wait.
That was Willow
Gotta go
Talk.
clean the house.
Yeah, thanks for watching the Willow Talk podcast on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't have to miss an episode wherever you are. And while you're at it, check out these videos up here. They're mostly good.